$486 billion is the amount that Russia must pay Ukraine as compensation for damage. This decision was recorded in the communique following the Group of Seven summit in Italy. The figure is based on World Bank calculations. While Moscow has not yet started making payments, the G7 has agreed to provide Kyiv with a loan in the amount of $50 billion by the end of the year. It will be repaid using profits from frozen Russian assets.
This tactical victory against Russian aggression is sweeter because it is actually a defeat for Putin's partner, Chinese leader Xi Jinping, who tried to bully the reluctant G7 members to deter them from embracing this policy. John Herbst, senior director of the Eurasia Center at the Atlantic Council, on the Atlantic Council website.
G7 countries will impose severe restrictions on financial institutions and other companies in China if they continue to support the aggressor country. The leaders of the Group of Seven emphasized that those who help the Russian military-industrial complex support actions that undermine the territorial integrity, sovereignty and independence of Ukraine.
We will continue to push strongly for further restrictions as well as support Ukraine. I explained to G7 leaders that Japan is considering a new round of sanctions that would include entities based in third countries such as China.
In the final declaration, the leaders of the G7 states call on the Russian Federation to withdraw troops from the territory of Ukraine. Experts are convinced that Western leaders are changing their views on Chinese policy, and they understand that the time has come to use tools of pressure on Beijing.
We call on China to press Russia to stop its military aggression and immediately, completely and unconditionally withdraw its troops from Ukraine. We encourage China to support a comprehensive, just and lasting peace based on territorial integrity and the principles and purposes of the UN Charter, including through its direct dialogue with Ukraine, from the communique of the G7 leaders. I don't think that China will try to take any steps to persuade Russia to peace here and now, but at least as far as withdrawing from assistance to Russia in terms of circumventing sanctions is concerned, they can really take this step because the threat of secondary sanctions for the banking system not only in China is now greater than ever.
China publicly advocates peace negotiations, but subject to the mandatory and equal participation of Moscow. Beijing previously presented its peace initiative as an alternative to the Ukrainian peace formula. The plan included 12 points, the first of which was the restoration of the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Ukraine. However, China then cut its plan in half. As Mykola Tochitsky, deputy head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, noted, the new version does not correspond to the initial attempts of China to return to the principles of international law. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Nikita Skoblikov, UATV News.